Hey, just popping in to do a quick walkthrough video of chapter 12, get us practicing further use of diatonic leaps. So these will be leaps outside of the 1 and 5 chords. Remember and go practice to review the 1 chord, do, mi, sol, mi, do, obviously, and then the 5 chord, sol, ti, re, and sol, ti, re, fa for the 5/7 chord. Make sure you keep your chops up on those. Those will not go away anytime soon. So keep that up, but in chapter 12, we're going to introduce some other leaps in the diatonic scale, in the major and minor scales. And other leaps we'll hear have two main functions now. And, you know, leaps are used in two different ways generally. Even with leaps in the 1 chord and the 5 chord, you can tell there that's the first way. Leaps, especially of thirds, are used to imply harmony, right? So the 1 chord is implied by the leaps in the harmony. It comes out of the leaps between, for example, in E major, do, mi, sol. That gives us the sound of the 1 chord, so obviously singing do, mi, sol, mi, do, or mi, sol, do, or something will imply the 1 chord. And same with the 5 chord, of course. Same with, as we will see in this chapter, same with the 4 chord and the 6 chord and the 2 chord. So basically we'll be introducing the other chords that we haven't really studied melodically, but we have studied in a harmonic dictation context. Predominants like 2 and 4 and 6 that are implied by their own leaps. So let's think about that. Like in E major, do, mi, sol, mi, do, and the 5 chord would be sol, ti, re, fa, re, ti, sol, right? That's 5/7. How would we get from the 1 chord to the 4 chord? And what kind of leaps would imply the 4 chord? Do, mi, sol, mi, do, mi, go up a half step to fa. Then we can sing fa, la, do, la, fa. Oh. That's our 4 chord, and back down to the 1 chord. Do, mi, sol, mi, do. So being able to go back and forth between those is going to be a good thing to practice. Notice again how the leaps between fa and la and between la and do begin to imply the 4 chord. Same goes for the 2 chord between do, re, fa, la, fa, re. 2 chord is minor and it's implied by the leap between re and fa, re, fa, la, fa, re. And the 6 chord is going to also be minor, and we'll find that by going do, ti, la, starting on la and going up to do, la, do, mi, do, la. That'll be our 6 chord. So just to review that, our predominant chords are implied by leaps between the notes re, fa, and la, fa, la, and do, and la, do, and mi. And you notice probably that those all overlap, so they can be used in this way and that. Sometimes notes fa, la will imply the 4 chord, but other times they'll imply the 2 chord because of the 2 common tones between those harmonies. So as we go, I think you'll notice the connections between these more, and we'll explore some harmonic implications. Now, I mentioned that there are 2 main uses of any diatonic leap. And one thing, the first one, as we just went over, is to imply chords. The second one is just as important, and that's to decorate a note. So in this case, I just want you to think of the double neighbor pattern. And I really think just practicing this as a warm-up will be very helpful going forward. So our warm-up for this week will be picking a note in the tonic triad, do, for example. Let's start with do. And doing a double neighbor. Let's do a double neighbor where we go first down and then up. So we'll go do, ti, do, and then we'll go up. Do, re, do. Okay, so those are simple neighbors. And then we'll try a double neighbor, combining them. Do, ti, re, do. And again, do, ti, re, do. Now let's go the other way. Do, re, ti, do. Okay, oops, sorry about those extra notes. Do, re, ti, do. And what you notice here is we're doing two things at once. We're both decorating the tone do with a double neighbor, do, re, ti, do, and we're implying a little hint of the 5 chord there, right? Re, ti, sol, re, ti, sol, do. So it's working both ways. It's implying a harmony and it's decorating a tone as a double neighbor, the leap between ti and re. Well, that's a familiar one because it's in the 5 chord. But if we go up to mi, do, mi, and we do the same exercise. Let's start with a down neighbor, then an up neighbor, and then combine them. Do, mi, mi, re, mi, and mi, fa, mi, and then combined mi, fa, re, I did it backwards, mi, re, fa, mi, and again, mi, re, fa, mi, and then going up, mi, fa, re, mi. Now we have fa and re actively implying possibly a 2 chord, but also possibly just decorating the note mi with a double neighbor. And let's practice the same thing for warm-up on sol. Sol, and we'll start with a down neighbor, then an up neighbor. Sol, fa, sol, and sol, la, sol. And then we'll do a down-up neighbor, a double neighbor. Sol, fa, la, sol. And then reverse that. Sol, la, fa, sol. In this case, we have fa and la acting both as maybe an implication of the 4 chord and also a double neighbor decorating around sol. Now, practicing all of those together is going to be crucial as a warm-up because those are some of the primary new leaps that we'll have, especially fa and la, re and fa, and do and la, and so forth. So practicing your double neighbor figures will definitely help you. Let's see if we can find some of these things at work in some melodies in the chapter. So starting here in melody 12.5, we are looking at here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sharps. Well, we know what that is. C major has 0 sharps and flats. And if that's 7 different notes, no sharps and flats. If we have 7 sharps, of course, we're just in C sharp major. We just up everything by 1 sharp. We have C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, and so on like this. So we're in this key, do. Now looking here, we're starting on G sharp. Sol, do, mi, sol. Well, this isn't any new kind of diatonic leap, right? What is this? This is clearly right here, just the 1 chord. Just the 1 chord in this inversion, sol, do, mi, where mi is the lowest note. Why don't we actually say, because mi is the lowest note, we'll say it's already a 1/6 chord. It's an inversion. It's not do, mi, sol, but sol, do, mi, sol, right? Now going on, then we have sol, fa, la, sol. Wait, right away here, look. Sol, fa, la, sol. Well, that was just a double neighbor that was from our warm-up, right? So here we have fa and la being used to decorate sol. And here, I'm not even going to apply a harmony to that. That's so brief. Sol, fa, la, sol. That's just a decoration. That's decorating sol. That's a double neighbor. So our one harmony continues on. Our one harmony continues on. All the way through this first passage, actually, because then it just happens again. Sol, do, mi, sol. Fa, mi, fa, la, sol. Same kind of thing, although it's a little bit trickier now. It doesn't give you sol right beforehand. So now we have to generate the fa, la, sol, almost from nowhere, except maybe from this sol. Sol, fa, la, sol. Again, I think just practicing those double neighbors will definitely help you here. Okay, going on. We come back to the 1 chord here, right? Now we're down here though. Now we're down in not 1/6, just 1. Do, mi, do, mi. All right. And let's think about this. What do we have here? Fa, do, mi, fa. Well, if we look at this leap from fa to re as just a double neighbor around mi, which it's not, but we can pretend it is, mi, fa, re, mi. Well, then that makes it easier to sing. Mi, re, fa, re, mi. Although, this one, it doesn't quite look like a decoration of mi, right? Because we keep going. Let's pretend this one is a harmony. And we don't have to pretend, because it actually is. Let's identify the harmony. Fa, re. Well, that seems to be moving away from do, mi, fa, re, fa, la, fa, re. That's the 2 chord. Fa, re. That's implying the 2 chord right there. Then we keep leaping. We keep leaping here. Fa, re, ti, sol, ti, re, ti, sol, ti, re. Well, that should sound familiar. What's that? That's the 5 chord. Ti, sol, ti, re, mi, do. And we're back to 1. Okay, very nice, satisfying. Now, you should recognize this already. 1, 2, 5, 1. You should recognize this basic phrase model from our harmonic dictation practice. Even at the end of last quarter, we had gotten a start on this, and we'll pick this up shortly. But in terms of our harmonic understanding of melodies, we should pay attention to where these leaps are and how they start to sometimes act as decorations of a 1 harmony, for example, and sometimes imply their own chords, like we see here. 2, 5, 1. 1, 2, 5, 1. This we should recognize as the basic phrase model. Tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic. And we'll see this over and over and over again. In fact, we see it over again right away here. Do, mi, fa, re, ti, sol, ti, re, mi, do. Okay, and that's a very condensed version of a harmonic implication happening by just 2 notes and these different diatonic skips than we've practiced before. So I'll let you practice that melody on your own. You can get the rhythm down there. Let's go to the next one. Oh, good. Okay, so I won't spend too much time on this one. This is quite long, but it's very nice. If you look ahead, you'll see some things that, like we saw in the last one, just more practice with leaping in the 1 chord. Let's switch to E flat major. Do, mi, so, mi, do, mi, so, mi, do. We're starting on so, so, and then here we have do, so, mi. So keep practicing these different inversions of 1 and 5. They're going to come back over and over again. Do, so, mi. Do, sol, ti, sol, sol, ti, sol. 5 chord here, 5 chord here. Do, sol, ti, sol. Or maybe it's going 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, etc. 1. Do, sol, ti, sol, do, sol, ti, sol. Right? But if we jump back to the beginning, we see a chord that doesn't fit into the 1 or 5 there. This comes right away at the beginning. Sol, 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 la, sol, do. So we can imagine our sol, do here. Sol, do, sol, la, do, la, fa, mi. Okay, so practicing these leaps, do, la, fa, it should sound familiar to us as what chord? Well, it's the 4 chord, right? So if we're going from right away at the beginning, from 1 to 4, we should practice that. So, mi, so, so, la, do, la, fa, mi. Right away we have this feeling of going do, mi, so. Hear that interaction between 1 and 4 and 1? That's a very harmonic, a big way of using harmonies to decorate and to just expand out the 1 chord. And I'll talk more about that in a future harmonic focused video, but for now just concentrating on the leaps and the melody. You would be hard pressed, I think, to make a embellishment or a decoration argument about these. Like, is this la fa decorating this sol? Sort of, but actually it's even bigger here. It's become a little bit of a harmonic event in this case. So again, I keep coming back to those two uses of the leaps. On the one hand, melodic decorations, on the other hand, harmonic implications. So it's both, and it's not one or the other, but sometimes it's leaning more towards one than the other. And this one gives you a strong sense of the 4 chord before returning back to 1. Anything else that we should pay attention to? Well, here, sol, do, mi, sol. So that's just another inversion of the 1 chord. We haven't actually seen this much, but this is a 1-6-4 chord, right? Do, mi, sol. Excuse me. Do, mi. That's what's happened. Do, mi, sol. Compare that to here. Do, sol, mi, sol, do, sol, mi. And so on. Keep practicing those 1 chords. But look also for other leaps that imply other chords, like maybe here. Do, sol, do. Compared to here. Do, sol, ti, sol, do, sol, ti, sol. 1-5, 1-5. Do, sol, do, la, do, ti, la. Do, ti, la, do, la, do, sol, la. So it keeps returning to this la idea. Here it also seems to just be sort of a mix between a harmonic and a decoration. This is with melody it can be very hard to tell. So I wouldn't put too much weight on this. I just want to show you both as they work. And here, before the end, we're going to have a big what chord right before the end? 5 chord. So let's say this is the 4 chord, which I think you could make a good argument that this is a do, la, do, la. You can kind of hear the fa, especially since our ears have been prepared to hear that sound in several other places in this melody. Do, la, fa, do, la, do, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, sol, ti, do. Right? Then we get to 5. So once again, I can just show you here that we've gone from what was over here, the 1 chord, do, sol, 1 chord, do, mi, sol, do, la, 4 chord implication, do, la, sol, ti, 5 chord implication, and back to 1. And if we put those all together, once again, of course, we can see very clearly at work here, 1, 4, 5, 1. In other words, 1, 4, 5, 1. Tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic. Same thing we had in this one. Same thing we had up here. Tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic. Again, it's gonna come back and back. Sometimes just implied. Sometimes there's not complete chords, but we can still try to understand the harmonic implications of the diatonic leaps that we're singing.